Hey everyone, good evening, good evening. As always, I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope this video finds you in good health and in good spirits. So, some of you might know that the summer solstice is coming up on June 21st. I think I've done a couple videos on the solstices before, but I wanted to go over parts of an article I read and then add some other stuff in there as well. But there was an article titled Summer Solstice 2023. It says horoscope, histories, and rituals to celebrate the longest day of the year. So I want to touch on part of the article and then talk a little bit further on rituals. Summer Solstice 2023 gives us a chance to take stock. We've built ourselves up as much as we could. We've invested in our projects, in our growth. We've pampered those around us. And now we can stand still for a moment and observe. Did we achieve those goals? As you guys know, in a lot of my videos, I talk on my self-accountability log about setting goals, making changes, sticking to them, and holding myself accountable, which is why I record a lot of stuff so I can look back and say, okay, how have I progressed? So back to the article. The longest day of the year is midsummer. This is when the year peaks and the tension of anticipation is palpable for what comes ahead as the year starts to wane. Summer Solstice 2023 comes hot on the heels of the new moon of June 2023, which was yesterday, the 18th, by the way. Good thing to celebrate both of them, it says in this article. It actually says celebrating them both is a must, but I don't necessarily agree that it's a must, but it can't hurt anything, in my opinion. Summer solstice isn't just an astronomical celebration, it's a celebration of nature and impacts everyone and everything. The year's longest day holds meaning for ancient societies and old religions. Midsummer was celebrated in many pagan religions, and nature-based societies would celebrate a bountiful season, good weather, and good food. And some cultures, like the Swedes and the Finns, celebrate it still up until current day. Modern-day pagans celebrate midsummer by lighting fires on the hills, dancing all night, and jumping the broomstick. It is considered an auspicious time for weddings, as the summer solstice represents the time for marriage between goddesses and God. And it's a great time for conception magic and for those struggling with fertility, as nature is at its most abundant. I think that Kourtney Kardashian, who I had done my past video on, who had just announced her pregnancy, chose this time of year to announce it because it's right on the heels of the new moon and the solstice. But that's just my opinion, but following the craft, it makes sense. So as I had said at the beginning of the article, the solstice is on June 21st, and this is when the sun moves from Gemini to Cancer, and the day is the longest and the night is the shortest. And so in the article here, it says chaotic, colorful Gemini season 2023 is over, giving way to a peaceful, calm Cancer season 2023. The sign of Cancer loves family occasions and catching up with old friends, and following the summer solstice, a bit of downtime is in order, courtesy of the Cancer vibes, which I myself happen to be. I'm a Cancer. The longest day of the year is called the summer solstice. And until nowadays, days have been longer and the nights have been shorter. And after the solstice, this will be reversed, and each day will be a little shorter, and the nights will actually be a little longer. And this stands exactly opposite the winter solstice, when we experience, in the dead of winter. The summer solstice's influence on us all is a moment of stillness before the descent towards winter. It's a time to take stock and decide what we leave behind and what we take with us to the next part of the year. And then it says on here some different rituals on it, but there's one I wanted to talk about in particular, which is called knot magic. I don't know who is familiar with knot magic, but it's very old. It was used back in Mesopotamia and in ancient Egypt. They used it for protection. And then some of the Eastern and the Northern Europeans used the same magic as well, but they used it for different things. They used it, for different things. I know that Romania used it, and Eastern Europe used it for, I believe it was for love magic, basically, or sex magic, so to speak. And then with the Eastern European magic, that would be like Norse and so forth. And they used it for a lot of different reasons. They used it to harm people as well as help people. They used it for binding spells, for protection, and love, same as in the Middle East. And then they used it for safety and protection for fishermen in Europe and in Asia, and as well as other places. There's more to it, but that's just a basic history. So just a quick warning to my Christian friends out there. This part isn't probably going to be something that you're interested in, believe in, and some of you may actually call it the devil's work. But I don't believe that. I believe that this has a lot to do with intentions and setting goals and things for yourself, and it gives you a focal point, so to speak. Kind of like when you're in labor and you have a focal point so that you could focus all the attention and energy in one direction. So this says, honoring the sun is a beautiful tradition, harking back to ancient societies. Nothing connects us back to the past like those simple, unchanging things: the sun, the moon, and the movement of the seasons. And sunrise might not be feasible for all, so honoring the sun as it sets on solstice evening is also a wonderful way to go about doing this ritual that I'm going to talk about here. So number one is creating an altar outside, or it could be at sunset or at sunrise, depending which one works for you. And there are 4 things you need. You're going to need a tablecloth, or a cloth, a white cloth or a yellow cloth. You're going to need a yellow candle, some fresh flowers, and a yellow ribbon. So with this, you light the candle first, and then you circle the ribbon around it. You tie it into a loose knot. Don't tie it too tight, and please be careful not to get it in the flame, not to burn yourself. Just, be mindful, be cautious, be careful. So you're supposed to basically breathe in the light from the candle and from the heat. You're going to want to concentrate, meditate, put your intentions and connect with your heart to the light and to the heat. And then you want to acknowledge the sun as the giver of life. Again, not everybody believes in sun worship, but for those of you who do, this may be something you do in your practices, or something you might be interested in adding to your toolbox. So then what you want to do is, I forgot where I was at. Where was I? Okay. It says, then you want to carefully lift the ribbon, and as it is clear of the fire, tie it into another knot. Then what you're going to want to do is hold the knot with both your hands, and then you're going to want to repeat, in this knot is the heat of midsummer. In this knot is the light of midsummer. Now that the knot contains the energies of the summer solstice within it, you have it with you. And then when you need to feel some strength, or you need a little extra pizzazz or a little something, this is when you undo the knot. So we're not going to talk about negative things that you could do with it, or how or why, or, because that's not my focus. But it could be something that you use when, say, you need a little confidence boost. Maybe you're going on a job interview. You're doing something different. You just need a little extra energy, a little extra pizzazz. That's when you're going to go and undo the knot, and then go on that interview and walk in with that glow around you. Now, however you use it, in whichever way, when you need a little extra something, once you have undone the knot, you're going to need to discard of the ribbon. And the way you're supposed to properly do so is by burying it in the ground. So, yeah, that's just a little bit of information on it. I'm not going to read the whole article, but that just gives you a little bit of the basics. All right, everyone, have a great evening. Take care. Peace.